Hello, hello, hello. This is Paul here, back for another Minecraft commentary. Today we're playing some survival games on the PlayMindcrack server, the beautiful European servers that have finally been launched this week. And how good is it to play on a server with a very good ping? On the PlayMindcrack European servers, I have like 20 ms ping, which is a whole nother world compared to the 200 I was facing on the American servers. So when I play survival games now, it's a lot more funner. Firstly, a lot of people probably ask, where has the videos been? Well, it's got to that time again where university coursework is due, and I'm mostly spending the majority of my days either A, procrastinating, or B, trying to do work. And I'm sure a lot of people have been there before. I know it is quite tough, and personally I'm going through a little bit of a rough patch lately with motivation and persistence to sit down and do schoolwork and also take care of other aspects of my life. So the videos recently in terms of Minecraft have been a bit up, down, left, right, R1, R2, L1, L2. I think that was the cheat code from GTA. I'm not too sure, but that was that. So over the next week or two, I would suspect to see a little bit more survival games, just because it's very easy to record for me. I don't mean to sound big-headed, but I can do a lot better now on the European servers. I can usually win. Like if I sit down and play for an hour, I'll usually at least get one game that I win. So it's really easy to record, and I really enjoy talking over the gameplay because, as you guys know, I like to base my channel around talking just about things I genuinely like. So expect to see some more of those. It is really fun to play on, and I enjoy that. In other news, I have been slowly trying to fix my sleeping pattern, my ongoing battle with my sleeping pattern over the past 5 years. It's actually pretty good now, so, I found that, I don't know why, I always thought that I was a night person, I always thought I was a creature of the night. I usually stayed up until 3 a.m., 4 a.m. most days, and, just grinded it out during the day with very little sleep, and then came home and did the same thing. But I've noticed that when I do wake up early, I'm really, really productive, like a lot more productive. So I really do think that I'm going to try and start waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m. And this was my New Year's resolution, but obviously you can't just go and change your sleeping pattern overnight. It's something you need to take down day after day. And, looking and reading a lot of biographies of people who I aspire to be, a lot of those guys are waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m., so obviously that's something they all have in common, and surely if they're all doing it, then, if I want to have a little bit of improvement in my life, I just start doing it. I mean, nothing really happens at night. You look at what happens at night, nothing happens. It's just generally browsing Facebook and Reddit and playing games, and I can just cut that out because, as much as I do like playing games, I do have a few hours after university to do that. Another is I've been reading a really, really nice book lately called Maximum Willpower, which is explaining how the human brain works, and it essentially is saying that we have a brain that was based off the original Homo sapien, which obviously came around 200,000 years ago, and we're still running on a brain structure that was designed for people running around with spears and killing people in fight or flight. When you see a lion, you're like, oh, it's a lion. So it goes into how the brain reacts and how today the brain has coped. And it's really interesting to see that, what we think we are is what we really aren't. And that may not make any sense, but reading this book, for me, has really opened up a lot of insights. Get a little hit on this guy who tries to enter Pearl away. Unfortunately, he was way too slow and doesn't get away with that. The actual thing itself sort of opens up a lot of possibilities and explains to me like what I think in my subconscious or what I think in my mind isn't necessarily what's happening in my subconscious mind. So it's interesting to see that how the human brain has evolved over the years. I mean, the book goes on to argue that we have three sort of brains. We have our lizard brain, our animal brain, and our human brain. The lizard brain is essentially just, the ability to breathe and our heartbeat and stuff like that. The animal brain is the ability to love and sort of emotionally understand other creatures. And then the human brain is the unique ability to have self-awareness, consciousness about ourselves and the ability to choose with our prefrontal cortex, which is in our head, or the area above our forehead. But one really interesting thing that I have found about this is that the decisions we make are willpower, and willpower is depletable. And that's something I didn't know. I didn't know willpower was depletable. I thought, you could just, if you were doing something and you didn't, you didn't do it, then you obviously didn't have enough sort of strength in your willpower. I thought willpower. Look at this bit of lag here. I thought willpower was obviously, this infinite resource that you could just use at your will, but it obviously isn't like that. I mean, a lot of things that affect it are the quality of your sleep. So, on days where I get less than 6 hours sleep, I feel like a total zombie. So, always try and get 6 hours sleep when you can. Exercise. A lot of people think exercise is actually, making you a little more tired, but in reality, exercise actually increases the gray matter in your brain, and obviously with that, you gain the ability to have more decisions, which adds to your willpower. I get actually really lucky here. This guy starts lighting all out of fire, thinking he's getting away here. And I'm like, nope. Ender Pearl for the win. So, we do that. And then another one is obviously nutrition. And it's really important for, what you put in your body essentially is what you get out of it. So I think that's a coding sort of phrase. I can't even remember. It was something I was taught in my first year of university. It's like, put in good stuff. Put in bad stuff, you get out bad stuff. What you see is what you get. I think that, I can't even remember. I'm just talking a little of rubbish at this point, but really interesting book, and I've been slowly going through it. I'm not really through it too much. I think I'm like 30% through the book. But reading is one of the things I really want to incorporate more, and I always go on about reading and never shut up about it, and a lot of my friends like slowly take play a little joke on me, and they're like, "Oh, you never read anyway. You're all talk." And to an extent, I do talk about reading a lot, but when it comes down to getting into reading, I don't do it. And one thing, why I love reading so much, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you told me to read a book, and I would have laughed in your face. And one thing that I really learned over the internet and following a lot of different self-development people is that reading is one habit you need to pick up if you want to sort of advance in your life. And I don't mean like reading just self-development books. I mean reading how-to books, like even a bunch of programming books I have here teaching me how to do things. Reading fiction, non-fiction, just expanding your mind into different opinions that you otherwise wouldn't have looked upon. For me, it's just about the continual self-development process that I want to go through right now. And you go through, I think a lot of people describe it from the ages of like 18 to like 24, 25. You go through this sort of period where you're thrown out into the big bad world and you're wondering where the hell did I go? And I'm sort of going through that phase right now, but I find that reading really, really helps that, because I get to go into the minds of people who've had successful lives and really made an impact on the world and see what they were doing. And I'm not necessarily saying that I want to be like the next Nelson Mandela, or I want to be like the next person to invent, I don't want to be the next Bill Gates or Tesla or someone, even though I do believe that, nobody is cut from a different cloth, so to speak. I do believe people like that are born, with a little bit more, what's what I'm looking for here, a little bit more in their tanks, but that doesn't mean you can't turn your life around better than the majority of people. Like I saw a comment on Reddit a day or two ago, and it was like, I believe that no matter how hard someone works, that they, some people can never be successful, and I completely disagree with that, because at the end of the day, hard work just completely out trumps talent that people have. You look at people like Einstein and people call him a genius, but people don't see the amount of hours that Einstein put in behind the scenes to develop his theory of relativity. I guarantee the guy was working essentially every waking moment that he had. Same with Tesla. I mean, Tesla reportedly only slept like 3 hours a night. So it is quite interesting to see that and looking into the minds of those guys, and obviously going and reading about them and what they did in their daily life is really, really interesting for me. That background noise, basically this last guy here is stuck in a lighthouse, that lighthouse over there, and I'm going over to get him, but I essentially just tell him to back out. But yeah, this commentary was all over the place, just really talking about what I'm doing right now, and as I said before, I'm trying to incorporate a lot of reading. I want to sort of wake up early and just sit and drink a coffee and read for like an hour straight, like read really interesting books. But let me know what you guys thought about these survival games videos, because I enjoy doing them. I mean, they're a lot easier to do than playing Minecraft or Pixelmon, and a lot of people want to know where Minecraft and Pixelmon is. They will be coming soon. Hopefully, I'll get a lot more recorded this weekend. It's just obviously with the coursework I have, and my dissertation / thesis is doing like 6 or 7 weeks, so I'm kind of spending a lot of time on that. So that's where I've been. Bit of a random video, but there you go. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Let me know what you thought. And Paul said, have a very nice day, and goodbye.